Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. It's 2 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. Vice Chair Commissioner Gary Edwards and Commissioner Carolina Mejia are on the dais. To Commissioner Mejia's right is County Manager Ramiro Chavez and Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell. Calling this meeting to order at 2 p.m. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. This is a hybrid meeting with folks able to attend masked and distanced in our boardroom and also able to appear virtually where possible. And it is live streamed on our Thurston County YouTube channel. So with that, we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Mejia.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We would also like to start today's meeting with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the Indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically the Squaxin Island, Chehalis, and Nisqually people, our sovereign tribal partners. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. Is there a motion regarding the proposed agenda for today's meeting?
Yes, I would move for approval of today's agenda, November 30th, 2021.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda is approved. I'm ready for a motion regarding board meeting minutes from November 23rd.
Yes, I would move for an approval of the board meeting minutes from November 23rd, 2021.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comment from the public at our Tuesday afternoon meetings. There are certain guidelines to go through. When called, please introduce yourself, including the area of the county in which you reside. Address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. Speakers are limited to 4 minutes and may not donate that time to any other speaker. The board does not respond directly to public comment, but the county manager may, on an as-needed basis, respond either after comment or at a subsequent board meeting. Board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to speak for good cause. No comments that are inflammatory, discriminatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. No comments regarding pending land use permits that may come before the board on appeal. And any written materials provided may be considered public records and subject to release pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of RCW. First up is John Pettis. Terry Ballard is on deck.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettis. I live off Rich Road. I won't be wearing this mask due to a health situation, and I'll get into my particular subject matter. There's several different subject matters that are actually important today. I have to open up and say, well, I understand that I need to address the board, but I also find it kind of interesting that the board will not respond. Think about that. Isn't that kind of like the citizens aren't worthy to have the board respond? We can't talk towards staff, but staff is the one that will talk to us. Do you realize the implications of all that? Basically, whatever the situation is, you've been told you're not allowed to talk to the public, the people that elected you to represent them. You're not allowed to make a comment to them or talk to them or express a concern. So that would be the first thing I say. Maybe you need to readjust your thinking. You work for us. The county manager and staff over there, they work for us. We're entitled to hear from you. And Ms. Mejia the other day showed up and she showed up and met the people. I applaud that 100%. You know what? That's what commissioners are supposed to do. See the people, talk with the people, not just get responded to by county manager. So another particular item here, which I hadn't heard anything back. I've been busy all morning taking my wife and spent a little quality time. And one of the things which I addressed is the fact that currently you're scheduled for next week, Monday, Tuesday, for a couple of hearings. Now, there is no question that proper notice was not given. And I'm okay that you may, since I haven't heard anything to the contrary, I'm okay that you may proceed. There's not a better way that I can destroy your budget than to have it all thrown out because you fail to meet the legal requirements, not the justified requirements that, well, we really meant to do something, but we didn't do it. The law is very clear, A, B, C. Do you follow the law, or do you try to justify and redefine it to fit you? That's what commissioners are supposed to do, is they're supposed to give direction to staff, not staff give direction to commissioners. And unfortunately, you have an assistant prosecuting attorney typically that has never figured out that they're not actually supposed to work for you guys to try to justify things. They're supposed to enlighten you with what the law actually says, not to provide you with excuses to not follow it. So if you haven't canceled it or rescheduled it for the following week, which would still be an opportunity, it's okay, that's a choice. But you also live with the outcome of where it is. It's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket. If that basket gets destroyed, from what I've read, you'll be limited to the budget that you had last year in terms of revenue and everything. But hey, that's your choice. I'm sure you're getting great advice from a county manager that doesn't have any actual education regarding fiscal and financial elements. Now, I do want to also respond. It's nice that we go through the process of approving agendas and minutes. You guys need to take a look online. The other day, I was going to look up information about the Atrium 3000 building. It has been dissolved. There is no minutes. There's no element of any resolutions regarding any of that in the system. You need to take a look exactly what's being allowed for the public to see. It is being manipulated, and whoever's stopping from posting everything needs to address. One last note, you also need to have minutes on every single meeting that's available, not just this meeting, every meeting. And I'm sure I should be able to pick it up because the law says I'm entitled to pick up a copy of that immediately following any meeting. Thank you.
Terry Ballard's next.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name's Terry Ballard. I live in Tanglewild, unincorporated Thurston County. I retired from the Army in 2012 as a Master Sergeant E8, and I have 35 years of service. Approved minutes. You're approving minutes. Are they written? Do you have an opportunity to review these minutes? Or do you just go ahead and review because your manager tells you to review, to go ahead and approve it, okay? The consent calendar. I thought we were open. I thought we were transparent here, okay? But the consent calendar, when you're looking at all these items aren't for public view. That's a real problem. That's called a shadow government. That's not transparent. Example of this is the voucher listing. I'd like to see where my money goes. Where's the voucher listing? Oh, okay, I requested on the 29th of October a voucher listing for all of last year and this year. Why don't I have it? It's been a month. It should be right there. It should be just like a pull over to to my FOIA request. That who cares about FOIA requests? And the financials. I asked for all the financials, the Pacific financials for everything that you have on your interactive thing. That's 3 October. That's, again, almost 2 months. And here's the third one. Here's the third FOIA request on 25 August. A copy of the Veterans Board, meaning the existing one, and the nationally recognized service organization that has written notice as their representative. Why is this important? Because that board is supposed to take back to all these veteran groups assistance, help, avenues of everything that deals with a veteran back to the group. Then the group asks that representative for a question that answers the board and answers to you. I guess that's not happening, okay? Policies and procedures. 1.5, in the policies and procedures of 2020 of the Thurston County veterans, okay? This policy says that codes are advice. Really? Did you approve that? Did some commissioner come by and approve that? Because you're supposed to be approving all these policies and procedures for the veterans, running the Veterans Fund. Did you approve that? Do I need to go over to CPED and say, hey, all these codes that you're approving today, okay, they're not anything they're not anything to go by. They're just advice. Well, you wrote that in this document, so I guess that changed the whole code scenario. Okay, rentals, $360 goes out to the veterans group if they have to rent their space. Well, space can be provided for them free of charge. But you go ahead and charge $30,000 times 3 to utilize the Veterans Hub. Okay, that's stupid. Okay, and then you have 3.13D, and that's my last. That is my last statement. Okay, no or little income. It's your Veterans Fund. Applicants who report no income or little income for previous 31 days must be eligible and receiving Washington State Department of Social and Health Services basic food assistance and or Medicaid in order to be indigent for the VAF. The applicant must provide documentation showing their eligibility for basic food assistance and Medicaid. So when a guy goes into a shelter, is he afforded all this opportunity? If the homeless goes into the shelter,
wrap her up, sir.
Are they provided the same opportunity? No, I don't think they're even provided the basic opportunity that you approved in this form. And I have asked for that as well. And guess what I got? A non-by-name listing of a partial listing of who accesses the shelters and our veterans. Thank you.
Those are the 2 names I had on the sign-up list. Is there anyone else in the boardroom that wishes to provide testimony?
Nope. No.
Check the Zoom.
Let me go through the names that I do not recognize being county staff. Ms. Deborah King,
Yes,
please go ahead. Introduce yourself, where you reside in the county. You have 4 minutes.
yes, my name is Deborah King and I'm a citizen just listening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Ms. Shayna Bernmeister. Sorry.
Yes, I am also a citizen. I live in Tumwater, and I also am just trying to get an understanding of the process. I think the one thing that I will say is I find it ironic that we started the meeting off with talking about honoring land and waterways. And my understanding of this meeting has to do with supporting and or moving a huge issue with those that are destroying land and waterways, as well as just our general societal norms. So I probably will have more comment at next week's meeting after I get an understanding of how this meeting progresses.
Ma'am, are you talking about the emergency housing ordinance?
I'm talking about I thought this meeting was going to be discussing some policies for potentially moving the RVs and vehicles over off of Ensign Road.
No, that discussion occurred 2 weeks ago, and that is not part of the commissioner's conversation related to the RVs.
Okay,
But
that's fine. I'll still stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. Yep, everybody else
That's
is staff member. Item 2 is county manager's update.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't have any specific updates, but I'd like to follow up to Mr. Pettis' comment, and this is a follow-up to his email that he sent yesterday related to the proper notice for the upcoming public hearings that is scheduled next week, Monday and Tuesday, related to the budget. You did hold an executive session this morning under the advice of legal counsel. The proper notice has met the intent of the law.
Okay, let's look at the consent items. There are items 3A through 3G. Yes, 3G. Is there a motion regarding the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. I would move to approve consent items A through G.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, 3A through 3G. Motion is to approve those items. Consent motions non-debatable. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, that motion carries. Items 3A through 3G are approved. The first department item is 4A under Community Planning and Economic Development. Thurston County Comprehensive Plan Amendment, the Tumwater Joint Plan. Leah Davis, Associate Planner with Community Planning and Economic Development, is present to present this item. Good afternoon, Leah.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Leah Davis with CPED. Today, staff is requesting the board take final action to amend the Thurston County Comprehensive Plan by adopting the Tumwater Joint Plan, which is an element of the comp plan. The amendment would be adopted by a full repeal and replacement of the Tumwater Joint Plan and associated maps, amend the official zoning maps for Thurston County, Washington, and amend Titles 20 and 22 of the Thurston County Code. The Tumwater Joint Plan was on the official 2020-21 Comprehensive Plan docket as item CPA1. The proposed amendments have been reviewed by the Thurston County Planning Commission, Tumwater City Council, and the Board of County Commissioners. There were 3 Joint Planning Commission work sessions, March 31st, April 15th, and May 20th of 2021, culminating with the joint Thurston Tumwater Planning Commission public hearing on May 20th. After this hearing, the Thurston County Planning Commission recommended adopting the joint plan with an amendment to omit section 11.1.6. The Tumwater Planning Commission recommended adopting the joint plan as proposed. The City of Tumwater had 2 general government committee briefings on April 14th and June 9th, 2021. Their City Council had 3 work sessions on June 22nd, July 27th, and August 2nd, with a unanimous recommendation to adopt the Tumwater Joint Plan as proposed. The board had a briefing on August 12th, a public hearing on September 28th, and a final briefing on October 20th, 2021. On November 2nd, a majority of the board directed staff to move forward with option 1 for a final action on the Tumwater Joint Plan. Option 1, which was the recommendation by the Tumwater Planning Commission and Tumwater City Council to adopt the Tumwater Joint Plan as proposed, includes section 11.1.6, which is titled Recommended Changes to the Thurston County Code to improve consistency with the Tumwater Municipal Code. The draft recommended for approval also includes 5 land use and zoning changes, an amendment to the Airport Hazard Overlay Zoning District to extend it into areas of the UGA and the rural county, and the associated code amendments. The land use and zoning amendments include 2 parcels changing from neighborhood commercial to single-family medium density, 2 parcels changing from neighborhood commercial to general commercial, 1 parcel changing from business park to light industrial, a cluster of parcels changing from commercial development to mixed use, and a small map correction changing about 1/2 acre from open space to single-family low density. Also included is an expansion of the airport hazard overlay, which will add regulations to a small section of the urban growth area and about 240 acres of the rural county. The associated code amendments to implement the land use and zoning changes include updates to Thurston County Code 20.03, 20.30D, 22.04, and 22.32 to implement the airport hazard overlay. And also repeal Thurston County Code chapters 22.21, commercial development, and 22.28, business park. Included with this agenda item is a resolution to amend the comprehensive plan by repealing and replacing the 1995 Tumwater Joint Plan element, including associated maps, and an ordinance to implement the changes to the comprehensive plan by amending the official zoning maps and the Thurston County Code to reflect the land use amendments adopted by resolution. The Washington State Department of Commerce was notified of all proposed changes to the joint plan and related codes on August 18th, 2021. The comprehensive plan and amendments align with the Thurston County Strategic Plan Initiatives 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and 13. That concludes my remarks. I'm available to answer questions.
Questions for staff, Commissioner Mejia?
The section where there was a difference of opinion between our planning commission and the Tumwater Planning Commission, where it was kind of to match the codes. Any codes that has to be changed would still have to go through the process, and it would still have to go to our planning commission, correct?
All proposed changes to the code go through the Planning Commission first and a public hearing with a recommendation from the Planning Commission to the board, and the board will hold a public hearing and make a final decision.
So there's still that oversight from our planning commission on any changes.
Complete oversight from the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes, Leah, the Thurston County Planning Commission just objected to one section that, for one reason or another, is that right?
That's correct. Just that one section that was a recommendation of codes to be reviewed to become more in alignment with the Tumwater Municipal Code.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there a motion regarding this item?
I would move to approve a resolution to amend the Thurston County Comprehensive Plan by repealing and replacing the Tumwater Joint Plan element and associated maps, and to approve an ordinance to implement the changes in the resolution by amending chapters 20.03 and 22.04, adding a new chapter 20.0D, repealing and replacing chapter 22.32, and repealing chapters 22.21 and 22.28 of the Thurston County Code, and by amending the official zoning maps for Thurston County, Washington.
I'll second that motion. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
Due to the fact that we did not get this negotiated all the way through is my concern. So, but I recognize the process. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Mejia, anything further?
No, sir.
I'll just make a comment that updating the joint plans has been one of my priorities. Getting these plans updated, I think reflects good growth management, thoughtful growth management, smoother permitting, which then helps economic development. I know we're working hard on the Lacey Joint Plan, and that one is important as well. But it's good to be able to get this Tumwater piece moving forward. So I'm very happy to be able to approve this. There's no further discussion on the motion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye. Motion carries 2-1, and item 4A is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5A is emergency services, FY21 Emergency Management Performance Grant E22-147. Kurt Harden, Emergency Services Director. Good afternoon, Kurt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Kurt Harden, Director of Emergency Services. I'm here requesting that the board approve the federal fiscal year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant in the amount of $128,935 and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement as well as amendments that do not exceed 10%. The performance period is June 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022, and the agreement is with the Washington State Emergency Management Division. This is a recurring annual grant for Thurston County and supports the local emergency management programs and capabilities. The funding is primarily used to support Thurston County emergency preparedness, public education programs, resource management, logistics planning, and preparedness mitigation planning. The federal funds also support one full-time emergency management coordinator, which is an existing position. This revenue was anticipated, and the budget authority is already in place for the approved 2021 and the proposed budget for the 2022 budgets. No additional county funding is needed or required for this grant. And subject to your questions, I request the approval of this grant.
Questions for Kurt?
No, sir.
No, sir. I might point out we've had adequate discussion on this in past work sessions.
Is there a motion?
Yes, sir. I would move to approve the federal fiscal year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant. That's FY Frank Young 21 Edward Mary Paul George, number E Edward 22-147 for the period of June 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022 for a total of $128,935 and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Sure.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye, the motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay. Item 6A is Public Works, a contract award for moderate risk waste transportation and disposition management services. Hazo House.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Bickford, Solid Waste Manager in the Public Works Department. The Thurston County Public Works Solid Waste Division operates a permanent moderate risk waste facility that we call Hazo House for the collection and proper management of household hazardous wastes, and those are materials brought in by residents, as well as what's called conditionally exempt small quantity generator waste, which is waste from small businesses. Drop off for households and for residents at the Hazo House is at no cost, it's free. And for the businesses that bring their material there, they pay a fee for that service. Household hazardous waste includes items such as pesticides, herbicides, poisons, fuels such as gasoline, kerosene, and toxic cleaning chemicals. And so these are the types of things that we manage at the facility that people bring to us. Hazo House is the only facility of its kind here in Thurston County, and it provides residents and local businesses with a safe and reliable disposal option for this moderate risk waste. Annually, approximately 25,000 customers use the facility, dropping off a little bit over 100 tons of waste each year. The facility is staffed and operated by Thurston County employees and regulated under a solid waste handling permit by the Thurston County Public Health and Social Services Department. It's open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Only closed 4 days a year. That's New Year's Day, July 4th, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day. Open every other day other than that. So on September 30th, 2021, we received a total of 2 proposals for moderate risk waste transportation and disposition management services. These proposals were received in response to a request for proposals that we advertised on September 2nd, 2021. Public Works got together a review committee, and they evaluated and scored the 2 proposals based on the contractor's qualifications in several areas that included their experience managing and handling these wastes, their past performance and references, key personnel of the individuals that we'd be working with, and the folks handling the materials, technical approach for their waste treatment offerings. For example, they would score higher if they were able to take a certain waste stream and move it towards the reuse or recycling stream versus just straight out disposal. So that would definitely rank better if there's a safe and reasonable way to do that. And then, of course, lastly, their billing rates for that service. The highest ranking proposal was received from Act Enviro, and they're in Kent, Washington. The waste stream disposal options that they offered were comprehensive, and the rates were considered reasonable. I'd also want to add that Act Enviro also included some value-added features in their proposal, such as providing hazardous materials handling training to our staff at no additional cost. So staff is recommending the award of this contract to Act Enviro. So the terms of the contract would be for a maximum of 5 years, consisting of a 1-year base period and 4 one-year renewal options. The maximum amount would be for $500,000 initially, with opportunities for increases in future years if needed. I should point out that $500,000 would be for the 5-year period. The cost for this is paid through revenues from solid waste facility tipping fees, as well as through grant funding from the Washington Department of Ecology's local solid waste financial assistance grant. And willing to answer any other questions you might have.
Any questions for Jeff on this item? Commissioner Mejia?
No.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes. Jeff, this is also known to the public here as Hazo House, right?
Correct.
And how long have we had this operation going on in Thurston County? Not exact, but roughly.
Oh, at least 10 years.
And what was that tonnage again that is covered?
Over 100 tons a year so far, currently.
And that is at no additional charge to the residents that bring this in to the landfill, is that right?
That is correct, Commissioner. In small businesses that they bring in materials, they do pay a fee. But for residents, for Thurston County residents that bring their materials there, that is at no cost, correct?
Yeah, and that comes out of the tipping fee budget? Is that where this comes from?
Correct.
Okay.
So, Commissioner, before you entertain a motion this morning, the board requested a little bit of a revision on the motion.
Yes.
That has not been included on the current agenda. I do have a revised motion for your consideration.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
And I believe the revision that was requested by the board is to clarify on the motion that as the Hansel House.
Yes, mainly because this is such a good operation and known by the citizens in Thurston County as Hazo House. And I like to give Hazo House as much publicity as I possibly can, because in the process of using Hazo House, we're also doing a very good job that could otherwise be a disaster in protecting our environment. And that's kind of why I'm a stickler about that particular issue. So I want to recognize staff for all their hard work in keeping this afloat and keeping it affordable for the citizens of Thurston County. I'm prepared for a motion, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I would move to award the professional services contract for moderate risk waste transportation and disposition management services for Hazo House to Enviro of Kent. I'm going to spell that. ACTENVIRO of Kent, Washington, for a total amount of $500,000, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract and amendments for up to a 10% additional contingency, approve option extensions, and approve subsequent work orders.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. The motion to award this contract to Act Enviro for the Hazard House services. It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
Just to say thank you to staff for the great job they're doing.
Okay. I have nothing further, so I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye. Motion carries. And that is
Commissioners?
approved. Item 6A. Thank you, Jeff. Item 7A is commissioners' reports on any board work sessions, committee meetings, community events, etc. We'll start with Commissioner Mejia.
Thank you. I've just been meeting with different staff members as well as directors and department heads, and as well as elected officials. And I haven't had any committee meetings. I feel most of them will be coming in the coming weeks. I did yesterday go to visit the Thurston Chamber Small Business Incubator, which I thought was pretty nice what they're doing over at the Chamber, and how they're helping out several small businesses and begin to get set up. Other than that, I do not have anything to report at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Edwards.
Pretty light week on committee assignments. I believe the chair will comment on one that we were jointly on yesterday. My main activity for this past week has been the homeless activity and the virus activity that we're struggling with. So that's it for my report, sir.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Edwards mentioned the Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization governing board went through budget yesterday. It took a good chunk of our afternoon, a lot of numbers, and some very exciting expansions of services based on new dollars coming from the last legislative session going toward the crisis system. So we were happy to be able to move those pieces forward as the resources come from the state and down to the local level. My meetings have been concerned with meeting with legislators about the county's legislative priorities and meeting with municipal officials about the public hearing we had last week regarding a potential county home fund. Lots of good ideas about how to maybe structure that going forward. And that's my report. So next we've got the county manager reviewing our combined schedule.
Thank you, Commissioners. I will walk you through your combined schedule for the next 2 weeks, considering the next week's board meeting has been canceled due to the public hearings on the budget. 3
Canceled,
o'clock.
but we'll be sitting right here working on budget.
Absolutely.
And the public is invited to those.
Absolutely. And here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you have a public hearing. Well, you'll be receiving public testimony related to the renewal of the emergency housing ordinance. I'd like to pause a little bit on this because based on the public testimony that we have received, it appears to be a little bit of a confusion. The public hearing that you will have this afternoon at 3 o'clock, it is not related to the RB parking, the ones we were considering to move into the Carpenter Road. That decision was made by the board not to pursue that effort. And as a result, I have already rescinded the permit application related to this particular temporary parking, RV parking at Carpenter Road. So the public hearing this afternoon, it is not related to the RV parking. It is related to the emergency housing ordinance related to the flexibility on the code. Just a point of clarification. Moving on to tomorrow, Wednesday, December 1st. You have a briefing in the morning related to the Accessible Communities Advisory Committee discussion, and the county auditor will lead that discussion. 10:30 tomorrow, you will have the opportunity to welcome new county employees to county government. At 11, from 11 to 12, you will have interviews to 2 candidates that will be considered to be appointed to the Timberline Regional Library Board of Trustees. And those interviews will be conducted here in this room and will be available via live stream. 2 in the afternoon, tomorrow, December 1st, you have a briefing related to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee bylaws update. 2:30 tomorrow, December 1st, you have a briefing related to the Development Code docket, CR5, places of worship code amendment. Following at 3 in the afternoon with a briefing related to the Comprehensive Plan Amendment, the CPA 16, which is the long-term agricultural expansion options in the county. Thursday, December 2nd, you will be attending the Thurston Economic Development Council Regional Economic Forecast and Innovation. And that is located at the Great Wolf Lodge in the Rochester area in Thurston County. And that will take you from 7:30 to just about 3 in the afternoon. Friday, December 3rd, at 9 in the morning, you have a follow-up to the countywide home fund public hearing you held last week. Moving on to next week, this Monday, December 6th, you have, starting at 1:30, it will take you all the way to 7 in the afternoon. Public hearings related to the 2022-2023 biennial budget, and those will be conducted in this room. Also will be available via live stream. On Tuesday, December 7th, you will have an agenda setting that you will be reviewing the board's agenda for December 14th. And then in the afternoon from 1:30 to 7, again, you will have public hearings related to the 2022-2023 biennial budget. Wednesday, December 8th, at 9 in the morning, you will have a conversation related to the final budget deliberations based on the public testimony that you received in the last 2 days, December 6th and December 7th. Then at noon, you have the regular appointed directors meeting, followed by 1 in the afternoon meeting with the jail resources team, also known as the JRT meeting here in this room. Thursday, December 9th, at 9 in the morning, you will continue, if needed, final budget deliberations, and we're hoping for you to achieve final decisions on that day. Nothing on your combined schedule on Friday, December 10th. Monday, December 13th, you have been invited to the executive seminar to elected officials at 5:30 in the afternoon. And on Tuesday, December 14th, you will come back here on your agenda setting at 9 in the morning, reviewing the afternoon's board meeting agenda. That's all I have for you.
Okay. Anything else for good of the order from the board before we adjourn till 3 o'clock? Hearing nothing?
No, sir.
Okay. And we'll adjourn. We're back at 3 p.m. for the public hearing on the emergency housing ordinance renewal proposal.
And that's a different Zoom meeting.
Zoom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.